Yeah, all right, thank you. So, good evening to Jo Sensei, Kagi Sensei, thank you, Pooja, and everyone, good evening. First of all, thank you very much for having me at CubeSat Saloon through this virtual UNISEC-Global meeting. So again, my name is Fatimah Zaharah. You may call me Fatimah. I'm a senior lecturer from Universiti Teknologi Mara, UITM Malaysia. So basically, what I would like to present here basically is my question, but I would like to present some of the activity that have been done. So just a little background of UITM. We have successfully launched one CubeSat, UITM Sat 1 through the BIRDS 2 program together with Bhutan and Philippines. That was in 2018. And then the UITM Sat 1 was developed in QTech. This is for everyone who doesn't know. And then after we get the knowledge from QTech, we would like to sustain the project, and then we come up with a project to develop another CubeSat locally in Malaysia through the project named ASEAN Sat. That is a multinational collaborative project that involves QTech as well. Of course, and then Philippines, UPHST, and KMUTNB from Thailand. So currently it is in the final stage, or waiting for the launching. And the reason why I'm here, I would like to seek the guidance on what comes next after we launch that satellite. But before we go into that project, I would like to share with everyone, especially to our consultants, that we are currently establishing the UNISEC Malaysia UITM student chapter. As everyone knows, or maybe don't know yet, I am the POC of Malaysia, UNISEC Malaysia. And in order for me to, because I can see that we lack of manpower or people, especially from the youngsters, to get involved in this space activities or space field. So I use this platform to establish the society that involve the students from the degree students. So maybe from there I can cultivate the interest. So basically this UNISEC Malaysia UITM student chapter consists of currently 15 students. All of them are first year student, degree student. And I would say all of them are beginners. But however, they have basic knowledge in what is satellite, particularly the satellite communication system, but they have zero knowledge in satellite development. So I won't go through this organizational structure. I would like to go into the vision of this society establishment. Technically, this is the vision, but this is too lengthy. I make it short. The vision is to cultivate interest, long-term commitment, and hands-on skill in satellite development specifically, but particularly in space activities. So my concern here, actually not only students, people that involve members, I should say, in the project, they keep lost interest in the project. So it caused prolonged or dragging the timeline and causing the project or any program, space program, discontinuity. Okay, a little bit again about this chapter. So this chapter has been approved at level of faculty, but a new SOP, standard of procedure, it needs endorsement from the top management of the university. So now we are waiting for the endorsement. And in order for me, this is my plan, I reach for the outreach program first. So we have successfully awarded a financial fund from IEEE. The maximum fund that they could give to us is USD 2,000. This is for the outreach program. So basically, I use this as the initial activity to create the interest from the student or the members of the chapter. So this outreach program is to introduce the underserved 50 school students that age between 15 to 16 years old to space and IoT application. So what they're gonna do and what they're gonna learn is how to develop the satellite, specifically the CubeSat, through the application of Arduino. So the student from the chapter will be the facilitator that will facilitate the lecturers that will teach the student from the schools. So since they have zero knowledge in developing the satellite, even the CubeSat, so they will be trained first before we execute the program. So the program will be executed in August this year. And as I said, this is the initial activity to boost up or to get the interest from the student. However, we have no ongoing technical project yet related to the satellite development. So these are the risks that I have listed down. Basically, I experienced from a previous project, people come and go. So I'm afraid of this risk gonna happen in this student chapter, which is the dropouts from the student because of their commitment in academics. So that caused a slow technical progress, and then they are lack understanding in this satellite development, or they don't have a clear pathway and no tangible or no visible outcome from the project. And then the difficulty to convince the university management for the support and limited financial resources. This is one of the challenges as well in my country, financial support for the program. As you can see that my outreach program also being funded from IEEE. So it is not from the local funder. So from the risks that I have listed down, the requirement is to sustain the interest of the people in the project, to have a right space activities, and managing the expectation and timeline. So this is basically the question: how do I sustain the interest? How do I make sure that the risk that I have listed down is not it's not something that I should be worried about? And then currently the spirit of the student is they willingly to learn and grow at the first stage. Okay, and yeah, this is the project that I'm talking about just now during my initial presentation, the ASEAN project. So I just mentioned here, the mission is the camera and APRSDP and store and forward. So the current stage is awaiting for the launching, which is we're gonna do the handover to JAXA after JAXA's inspection. And then the operation will involve all the BIRDS members and also the amateur community for the APRS. So the question here, what comes next, as mentioned earlier, and how to sustain the satellite development project or space activity. Why do this question comes in? Because in my country, satellite development is not something that they see as a priority. It's a non-priority because they couldn't see the immediate returns, economic returns from the project. So it is hard to convince people about the project that related to the satellite development. I think that's all from my slide. This is just a concern that I have explained earlier: how to sustain the program, capacity building, international collaboration, next step technology roadmap, and also funding and support from the institution. That's all from my side.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Oh, by the way, we tell the Japanese how do I say in English, the peoples who come for the consulting, you can come hands free, so you don't have to make any presentations, and
Oh,
you don't have to bring any souvenir. And,
okay.
of course, in the remote, you cannot bring any souvenir, but no. So just feel relaxed
Okay.
because when we talk about coffee, we don't make any presentations. But
Yeah.
it's good you could summarize. Yes. So this point, first of all, this point, sustainability in universities. Uh,
Yes.
I wrote some things in MA handbook, mission assurance handbook in uh, and in chapter 10 of MA handbook is really dedicated to the let me share this one. Yes, I was looking at this one. So chapter 10 about this main handbook, this sustainability of university satellite programs. Yes, so I think many papers about, yes, you are not only one who have this problem. I think our audience of this today's have the very similar problems. Yes, and well, how do we how, how do we get the support from the schools? So especially the management. Okay. Well, I think you have to convince the value of the satellite, how these satellite programs benefit the schools, and well, okay, we can say that yes, it contributes to the education. It is good for the student. Well, okay, so it's a really it's really right things to say, but more practical benefit to schools. And there are two very practical benefits to schools. It's student recruitment. I think that's a main, every universities in the world are concerned. They want to have the good student. So they want to have those high school students to try uh, come to their schools. So student recruitment and also public relations. So every schools want their names appear in the media. So that's really what I think those are universally true. Malaysia, Japan, for Africa, anywhere. Anywhere management, please, if the name shows, if the school's name shows up on the media, I think that please also some student high school student comes to the school saying that yes, I want to come to this school because there's a satellite program. So that kind of story, I think you have to make that one. You have to make. And I'm not saying you make up. I'm saying you make up. But well, I think how you sell those stories to the schools, I think it's very important.
Mm.
Yes, and I'm not saying you to write to the schools, but there are students coming, those are high school students coming, and they are joining from the first year, right?
Yes.
And
But
because yeah.
just and say, if I may say, in UITM,
Mm,
technically we don't have specific course for
mm,
satellite. So
mm,
satellite communication system is one of the topics
mm,
in communication
mm,
technology or communication engineering system.
mm,
So they learn a very basic about satellite.
mm,
So not really into the development. So
mm,
we don't have that particular subject.
Yeah.
So that's the only subject that is
Mm.
related to satellite.
Yeah.
Just to say.
But they joined those student chapter from the first year, right?
The student chapter. Oh yes, first year. Yeah.
Because they are enthusiastic, because they want to work on the space, right?
Yes.
Yes. And that means they come to UITM because if they come to UITMs, they have an opportunity to work on the space.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
That's what the management want to hear. That's the things they want to hear. And so yeah, so to sustain the satellite programs, sometimes you have to do something other than simply research. Yes, you have to have a good relationship with the management. You have to have a good relationship with the agencies, have a good relationship with the international collaborators, also with the local committees. And because local committee also see that, oh, UITM is doing satellite, yes. And also the parents think, okay, my son is doing satellite. So usually the professor, faculties, it's not really the faculty job, but sometimes it's better. And if you are not good, get somebody who is good, who likes space, and who likes those external relations. Yes. And you can find those persons. Yes. If you think it's not, so if I do that one, I'm stressed. And then if there are people who is very good at that one. And then so you can disseminate that information that yes, at the UITMs they are really doing a satellite. And also the UITM 1, FAT1, UITM FAT2 is very strong, very important. That actually you launch the real satellite. You use that. I think UITM FAT1 already how long? 6 years, 6 years, 6 or 7 years old. So it may be too old to use, but UITM FAT2, I think you maximize that one to promote the information that UITM is really doing satellite. Then you have to think what to be UITM FAT3, or of course it needs significant amount of funding. Okay. And keep doing the satellite project, or it's really I say that it's a bicycle operations. You have to keep working, and if you stop, you just hold on. Okay. So so the best is yes, the best is you keep launching satellite every 2 years. But it's very difficult. But it's very difficult. Then I think using the momentum of UITM factor 2, so I think then there are lots of exposures to the media and lots of attention from the management. You use that, you maximize that opportunities and not to get big fundings. I remember that after UNTM Fat once, today is Fuzaimi here today? No?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Or I don't want to reveal so much
Okay.
personal conversations. But well, after the first satellite of the BARS programs, I think everybody try to get a big funding for the second satellite. Yes.
Yeah.
Professor Fuzaimi was trying to get a very big fundings. I think well, it's okay to try to have a big funding, but I think you can think of some small fundings, medium funding, big fundings, and for not just trying to chase after the just only big one, a small one to continue, and so and you are right that yes, students needs to do something. Otherwise, they are bored and they lose the motivation and they'll go away. So important things they make a student busy. And also, my suggestion is that students to work on, I think especially for UIT FAT 2, you can use operations. And the operation is very good opportunities. You can use operations as a tools, and also through that operations, I think you set up those ground stations, and then you can use the ground station for other satellite too.
Yeah. That is also one of the plans
Yeah.
for the operation, so that we can attract more students to get involved.
Yeah. Because your specialty is satellite communication, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to have the student have a feeling that yes, they are really communicating with space, and so you can let them work on actual radio. So well, if you try to let them work on attitude controls or C&DH, it may be a bit difficult, but for communication is a specialty, and so it can be tied with a curriculum. So I think yes, first of all, for the continuity, I think a good relationship with the management is very important. And convince the management of the value of this project. And most of value is at the student recruitment and also media exposure. And you can make one exposure to look like 10 exposure.
One exposure?
No, you can make if there one media exposure, you can make it look like 10 exposures.
Oh, okay.
For hire somebody who is good at it. Well, I think those things. So if you make a school happy, I think they'll make you happy. And so it's really the give and take. Yeah, I think that's a thing. Yeah, and yeah. Akagi-san, do you have any comment?
Yeah, thank you. I noticed that same as the Cho Sensei, I'd like to recommend that you promote the creation of the supportive environment in your university, and important to continuously communicate with the faculty management what you have learned through the previous satellite development and operation, and also I'd like to recommend that you communicate not only for the good results, good lessons learned from the US development operation, the opportunities, but also of course the challenging ones, the challenging situation or challenging problem or something like that. So that's I think the important to promote or create of the supportive environment in your university. And the one option to create that, as Cho Sensei mentioned, so I think the good opportunity is that to touch or to use that the satellite data, not only for the operational data, but also that you have already some the design or development and all the phase of the satellite data. So that this is a good the material to share with your university of the student, not only for the student, but also the faculty management, I think.
That is one of the issue, to get the support from the institution, from the university. And in terms of financial, in terms of funding, like I mentioned, every time that we present the project, the very first question that come up from the mock is, what do they get in return? How much is the revenue? Because everyone knows that university is the institution, academic institution. We are not looking for money, the return in money. But we should, how do I say, even though we are in academic institution and we are not looking into profit, but in order to get the financial support from the funder, profit is one of the most valuable things to them. So they keep asking, if they invest in this, what do they get? So maybe I am lack of how to convince them. That's one of the issue as well.
Okay. About in the universities, I think it's rather the easy compared to company. Company, they have to make there is a cost, and they have to get the money more than the cost, so that they don't go to red. And but for university, they don't have to get a return more than the investment. As long as they get a return, it's okay. And because many of the returns it cannot be quantized, like student recruitment. We cannot really convert to the money, right? And so as long as you get some external fundings, I think it's okay. And so let's say if you ask schools the $1 million, and the school pays $1 million, school gives you $1 million to make a satellite. But at the same time, you say that okay, I'll ask the external companies to give a funding to assist the programs. And if the company gives you at least some money, it doesn't have to be $1 million. If the company gives $100,000, then it really clearly tells that these satellite programs can really generate revenue. It's not, as long as generate revenue, it's good. Doesn't have to pay off all the cost. Yeah. So because schools are supposed to pay. After all, it's an educational and research purpose. So school has to pay at least certain part. Well, that means external funding doesn't have to cover entire things. If the external funding covers everything, so you don't have to be in the school.
No, because I'm sorry to Sensei if I interrupt, because in Malaysia, the academician has to think not only research, but also how to commercialize the research. So that is when the difficulty comes, because even though our plan is just to do the research, but we need also to think the profit. We need also to think how to commercialize the research so that we can get money. That is also one of our tasks as an academician in Malaysia.
Okay. Do you really have to make money?
Not really have to, but if the project has that kind of thing, so it is convincing to the stakeholders, so they can provide the fund.
Yeah. So as long as what you say is convincing, and as long as you get some kind of symbolic money from out, is it okay? Yeah. Do you really have to be the millionaire from that one?
No.
So then I think there will be a company who may want to invest some money. Because if you keep doing, there will be a company who want to join the project.
Okay,
They
yeah.
want to put the payload in a satellite. And that's what many universities in the world are doing. So they get the money, they ask a company, do you want to put your payload in our satellite? If you pay some money, we can do that. Actually, that many universities do it. So you can approach the company that, okay, if you pay some money, so we can put your payload and this money. And then you can tell the management, yes, we are getting some money from them. And if we keep doing, I think this not this business, but this models will generate significant revenue. And at once you can convince the management that well, this is not just education, but at the same time education and revenue generating. But it may not become the very big revenue source, but constantly generate revenues and the pay for the minimum money and also good for the society. So contribute to their give good to their local industries. Yeah, and if you cannot make a satellite by yourself, because if they're making satellite by yourself and launching cost a lot of money, that's why there is international collaboration. So you can find the partners and put your payload. Then through that channels, you don't have to secure hold the money, but you can just share the half the money, or even much less than half. You can still do the satellite mission. And important thing is keep doing something, and keep doing some things and related to the space, and give the student feeling that they are working on the space. And think of logic to please. I think it's just a matter of logic. Just a matter of logic to convince the management. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd like to add to the Cho Sensei mentioned. So Fatimah, you mentioned that your university focused on the lecture regarding to communication, right? The space communication.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that I think the one option is to access to the private company. Is the one option is to the communication company, local communication company. Is the one option, I think.
That's a good idea. Yes. We do have one company locally that works on satellite communication. If Sensei can if Sensei knows, the name is MESAT. Yeah, but MESAT just operate the satellite. So yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Sensei.
Yep.